Hey, everybody, I'm back with a snack. Joining me is the incredible Tracey Tee. She is a stand-up comedian, because I don't know if you still relate to that as your title, Tracy, but I will always say it. Once a stand-up, always a stand.
Yeah, I think it never leaves you.
It never leaves you.
Yeah, I'm like, "Who was that woman? Oh, yeah, I did that." But yeah, thank you.
But currently, she works in the world of psychedelics in terms of education, community, healing, getting the word out because, you live in Colorado, and Colorado and I believe Oregon are the 2 states where it's decriminalized. Maybe more are getting in line. It's certainly a lot more, destigmatized, I would say, and I have a joke where I talk about parents, moms specifically on mushrooms and other drugs, and when I say the mushrooms part, I see, people nod, and then I go, "Are you microdosing?" And, a lot of people just know about it. I would say 5 years ago, if someone said the word microdosing, I didn't even know what that was.
Mhm. No, it's
Okay,
true.
so, we were talking about, like, how there was, this tragic car accident, and after, just one of the many steps along the way that took you to where you were like, I need to kind of double down on this. And I'm hearing from you, other than yourself, your own journey of dealing with depression and menopause and using plant medicine to help you. Where does it become like, oh, I need to make this a business or get the word out or, find other people?
Yeah, thank you for asking that. It was definitely like a dramatic journey. And, as we phased out the Pump and Dump show and Band of Mothers podcast, and I started to lean into my healing a lot more because at the time and I was interested and it was working. It was really that first journey where I was just sort of shown a lot of, like, maybe my future a little bit, like, things just became a lot more clear, and I did another journey many months after that, and or I guess it was, like, several journeys later, but at one point, I was lying on the floor with that same my same guide, and I was
Okay.
crying, and I was saying, I think I'm just put on this world to eat mushrooms. And I really believe that. Like, like, this is my medicine. Most people say they have like a master teacher, and mushrooms just are, I'm just like made to take mushrooms for sure. And so when I started working with it, like I said, my life just took this kind of really intense trajectory. And that's not to say it was only the mushrooms. I was really devoted to the work. I was really wanting to change a lot of things I didn't like about myself and kind of just level set and answer those questions that started when I turned 40. And so that first journey really clarified that and made it very clear that mushrooms were going to be it for me. And then when I got that download, which I don't even give myself credit for because it really wasn't, of Moms on Mushrooms, I said no for a long time. I
Yeah.
was like,
Come on
first of all,
now. You're like, come
I'm
on
just
now.
starting. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a life coach. Like, who am I to even begin to think to talk to about people this? And I was also very scared. I was very quietly working with mushrooms and not really telling anyone else in my family. And my life was changing so fast, but so I just kept saying no. And it was like, no, no. Like, I remember one time, like, being on my floor in prayer, like, with my head on the ground, I was like, I really don't think I'm the right person for this job. I don't want to do it. And then eventually I just said yes. I kind of
So,
just like gave up. Yeah.
and why, I don't take this in the I'm not judging it at all. I'm just genuinely curious. Why not women on mushrooms, people on mushrooms? Why moms?
Yeah. So, a lot of that had to do with the Pump and Dump show, almost all of
Okay.
it, because what we saw, and we talked about this earlier, what we saw in the Pump and Dump show was this desperate need for moms to come together and laugh about the things they had in common. It was the community, why we eventually morphed into Band of Mothers, because the whole point of the show was to remind you that you're not alone and that all moms can, like, all different kinds of moms can come together. We always said, like, whether you ate your own placenta or you never tried a cloth diaper, like, we're still wiping butts, right? Like, the
Yeah, it doesn't
commonalities
matter.
are so, it doesn't matter. And when you can release that and laugh, it's so healing. And then adding on these, years of stories from women that we heard, heartbreak and, oh my gosh, just loneliness and all the things. What the pandemic taught me was what the Pump and Dump show did so well in, like, the olden times, bringing moms together, booze, food, laughter. What I saw was that now it was time to start talking.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
we can laugh about it, but if we don't heal it, it's just going to keep going and going.
Right.
And the mushrooms are psilocybin is it's a community medicine. It does not want to be taken in a vacuum. Almost anyone will tell you that. And it was just so clear to me. It was so clear to me that this was the helper. Like this was the aid that we needed, the excuse, the zeitgeist, the connector for us to start talking. And it's so loving and gentle, and everything I knew about it was wrong. I had fear and propaganda ingrained in me. And when I started to look at the science and look at the research and look at the reality and experience it, it was nothing like what I thought it was. And I
What kind of
just knew it was
propaganda
for
are we
moms.
talking about?
We're talking about, "Oh, you're gonna jump off a building.
Oh, yeah. You
Oh,
think you
your
can
brain,
fly.
you think of like you might, but, like, those things are real, but it's not like you can't die from mushrooms. You can't like, physically can't ingest enough mushrooms to have an overdose. It's not the same, and we
Ah,
compare our fears of mushrooms to what we understand about, like, alcohol and fentanyl, and they're not anything alike. You're not you ca It's not addictive. It's actually anti-addictive. You cannot become addicted to psilocybin because it will build up you'll build up a tolerance in it, and it won't work anymore if you take too much. Like it's like
ah.
already it's geared for healing. It's so magical. And the other thing I really love about mushrooms is Paul Stamets said this really well. Magic mushrooms grow on every continent on the planet except for Antarctica. It is the most democratic medicine. There are cultures that use it really beautifully, but you can't really culturally appropriate it because it's available everywhere. It grows in shit. Like it's
That's right.
available everywhere.
That's right.
It
It's a
wants it
mushroom.
wants everyone to use it. Like it makes itself available. And so all of those things are just like, this is it for moms. And
Yes,
I
and
just took that. I took all the lessons from the Pump and Dump show and just dumped them into microdosing.
and I was watching some, kind of very, cable television shows that you've been featured on, which of course are gonna come at it from a judgmental and clickbaity,
Mhm.
and part of it is by design, and part of
Sure.
it is truly because I've learned that the presenter, whoever it is, can't appear to be taking
Oh,
part in it,
totally.
right?
Oh, yeah.
And so they have to take this hard stance that all they do is I mean, it's so funny because I think whatever judgment people have about psychedelics, these are the same people who are like, "Yeah, I was parenting a little buzzed, on a couple half a bottle of wine or whatever," and nobody blinks an
Nobody.
eye at that. So the basic question that I'm sure you got asked numerous times, but I saw one instance where people are like, "So, are you high when
Yeah.
you're parenting your kid?"
Yeah. Yeah. No. I mean, that was my biggest fear too. And the whole point about microdosing is that you're not high.
Right.
You're not high. Like we don't want to be high. And this is coming from a mom who happily drank 2 bottles of Chardonnay in the middle of the afternoon at a play date. Like, I was that mom that was drunk and buzzed around her daughter. I did bring my daughter, like, grew up going to the liquor store and getting wine. Like,
Right.
so I had to really say, "Where's my prejudice? If I can do this around my kid, no, why not this? Just because it's illegal, stupidly illegal." But microdosing, you're taking sub-perceptual amounts. You're taking amounts that are not altering your perception at all. I always equate it to, I guess if you're gonna give an example, it's kind of like having that, like, first cup of coffee, right? It doesn't change how you show up, it doesn't alter anything that you do, but you kinda just know it's there. You might be a little bit more alert. You feel the coffee kick in, but it's not inhibiting you in any way.
Right.
And that's what a microdose is, and that's why it's so great for moms. And I also think, and we can talk about large dose journeys later, and I kinda go against a lot of people disagree with me, but I really feel that the modern Western mother, we don't have any idea about psychedelics, like intentionally using. We don't really understand what plant medicine is. We are not a culture that has ceremony or ritual or even intentionality. We're very passive. We want to take Wellbutrin and sit back and let it fix my menopause. We have a headache, we take an Advil, we wait for it to go away. We don't have a lot of buy-in, like collective buy-in on our healing. And so my concern is that we hear about the healing effects of a large dose journey, which I very much believe in. And so we just go straight to
To
Z
that.
to 60. jump in, take 5 grams of something, and you can become very destabilized if you don't have any context or awareness or preparation for it. And microdosing is a really beautiful way to create a relationship with the psychedelic, like actually understand what it means to co-create your own life and use something as an ally, not as a complete band-aid. And from there, then you have not only education and empowerment, but you have context to go and explore something bigger in a bigger altered state so that it can actually do what it's supposed to do, which is help you.
So the moms that are coming and joining your community, what would you say they are searching for? Are they searching for an alternative to an antidepressant? Are they
Yeah,
looking yeah?
I would say at least 80% of the women who come to us in our community or courses are looking for a better answer to an antidepressant. Many women are on one, if not several antidepressants. They don't know how or why they're working together. The doctors just keep
Oh my
adding
god.
something on because the other one's not working. They don't know how to get off. They're terrified of getting off. They don't know what their life looks like without it. And but their soul is like, I know this isn't the way. Like, I don't remember the last time I've cried. I don't remember the last time I've laughed. And I know I want something more. So that's a big part. And I would say the rest, most women are looking for more presence. They sense that the overwhelm, the distraction of our modern life is getting out of hand. And it's almost like you don't know how to stop it.
Yeah, I mean, I always say, like, a lot of this stuff, it's sort of, I get a lot of judgment for whatever I do in my life. And sometimes I just go, well, you know what? Until there is affordable childcare, until there is like any sort of structure that helps support parents. I mean, I wasn't aware until I had a kid how much America hates children. They hate children.
Yeah, it's so true.
And then after that, they hate mothers more.
Mhm. And then on top of all of that, the umbrella of all that is that we hate discomfort. We
Yes.
hate and which is why we don't like children, right? We don't like loud noises. We don't like unscheduled events, right? We don't know what to do with a tantrum. We don't know what to do if someone's tired. We don't like it if
Mm.
someone's hungry. We feed them right away because we don't like uncomfortability and we don't like moms who are uncomfortable. We don't like sad moms. Can't stand sad moms. We can't stand angry moms, call them Karens. We can't stand moms who beat to their own drum. They're weird
Yep.
and possibly a danger to their children. That's the knee jerk. And
Bad
we
mom. That's
really
that's
they're
oh,
bad moms,
that's what
and
it
we
yeah.
really don't like it. We really, really don't like moms who, are also women.
How do you think society feels about moms on mushrooms?
Well, actually, we don't get a lot of trolls. I think the authenticity of what we're trying to do at Moms is somehow protecting us from the hate. Doesn't mean that people don't think, and I've lost friends and family members because of my work with psychedelics, but 90% of the time, what I hear from women who are my mom's age, including my
Mhm.
mom, and we have a ton of women like in their third active life, I say, I wish I had this when I was a young mom. I wish I knew that there was another way. I wish I could have talked about this and people wouldn't have judged me. And I get letters from people like, "Oh, yeah, I took LSD when my kid was 5 years old. It changed my life. I never told anyone because I was too afraid of being judged." I mean, these are letters I get from women that are like, "Thank God you're doing what you're doing. I wouldn't be here. I would have unalived myself had it not been for psilocybin, for LSD, for ayahuasca." I hear it all the time. And so I think what scares people about moms on mushrooms and why we've gotten so much press is because what society doesn't understand, what America doesn't understand right now is a mom who's taking your health and happiness in your own hands.
I know, empowering moms is the
They don't
most scary.
they're like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa." Like, I was fine with you on Valium. I was fine with you drunk. I was fine chloroforming you while you had your baby so we didn't have to hear you scream. I'm not fine with you being fine with yourself. Like, that's too much.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
what's next? You might
What's
take some
next?
jobs because you might take be happy and be able to
You might be
work. You might solve some
or not
problems
work or be happy
or not
and
work, right?
or just or buck the system and raise your kid according to how your kid
You
needs to
want
be
to.
raised, not how
Yeah,
you want to. Yeah, how you want to.
yeah, I know. No, it sort of pokes its fingers at a lot of, what I'm just gonna call it I believe in capitalism, but there are some very serious ways that capitalism
Yeah.
really needs, especially moms, to stay at home and be
Yeah.
sad and drink Chardonnay and
Yeah.
feel and maybe not being so in charge and just get those kids so they can become the next workforce. So
It's really true.
that's like my
I mean, it's
large
very
umbrella of
apocalyptic.
concern.
Yeah, but it's once you see it, you can't unsee it, you know? And when you decide, I would say one of the biggest things that microdosing, that mushrooms ever did for me, people ask me this all the time, like, "How did it change your parenting?"
Yeah,
And I would say, A, it's probably the number one thing it did was change my parenting. And the reason is because I started looking at my daughter as a human, and I started leaning into what was right for her and fuck all what everybody else thought I should be doing with my kid. Which means for my kid, who's an introvert, whose social battery needs to be recharged, her words, not mine. I love these young kids. They're so
yeah, I
aware.
know.
You know,
It's so true.
it
Yeah,
meant canceling extra activities that weren't lighting her up. It means really protecting her energy. It means understanding that she needs quiet time. It means understanding that she loves being around her dad and I and prioritizing family time that's just dropping in, even if it's just watching a movie. I started listening to what Evie needed and I stopped caring about what my family thought, what my friends are doing with their kids. I stopped comparing myself to everybody. And then I just devoted my life to what is best for Evie, protecting her and guiding her. It doesn't mean I'm not a parent that says like the kid will tell you what they need. Not at all. I actually got much more clear with boundaries. I felt much more empowered as a mother. I felt much more like, no, I'm the one in charge here. I'm going to tell you how it is. And I felt good about saying it because I knew it was coming from the right place. And it just it was like such a burden lifted off of me. It felt amazing and it
that's
feels
great.
amazing.
That's amazing. Oh my god, I am inspired talking to you. It's this is a rare occasion that I will say that too, because I mean I love connecting with people, but I feel like this is completely on a different level, as it should be. As it
It's
should be.
it is. It's really
It's really on a
it's
different
psychedelic.
level. That's right.
It's
Oh my goodness. I thank you so much, Tracy. I'm just so pleased that I ended up getting connected to you. So,
I am
and for all my
too.
listeners, if you were just nodding your head and going, I need more, first of all, you can just follow Tracy on all the socials at Moms on Mushrooms Official. But also, you might want more education. You might be just curious. You can go to the website. There is a guide that you can download for free. There is a community. There is education. There's so much allyship and guidance that she offers through Moms on Mushrooms. Thank you so much, and I hope we get to catch up some more because I find
Girl,
this just so
yes.
fantastic.
Let's do
Yes.
it. Let's
All
do
right.
it. Let's get you on shrooms.
Okay, great. Sounds good. I'm in.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.